What it do, KTTeeV? This is KT, and I'm coming at you live with another episode of the Daily K Podcast. And today will be the first episode of the Wellness series, and so I figured I'd go international with this one. So, Mr. Dave, can you talk to us about where you are currently located and your current role in fitness and wellness?
Thanks so much for having me on, and listeners, I hope what I share is going to help you in some way in these difficult times. My name's Dave Sheahan. I live in Limerick, Ireland at the moment. I've just returned after 5 years living in Lanzarote, which, if you don't know what it is, it's one of the Canary Islands off Spain. My life's all about helping people in fitness, health, wellness, that whole area. Mental health, like we spoke of before we came on this call, is something that everyone needs to be mindful of usually. But right now, in the time we're living, mental health is even more important.
And so how exactly is it going with the virus and the quarantine in your country?
At the moment in Ireland, it's a gradual process. About 2 weeks ago, the schools got closed down. Then after that, it was recommended bars closed down. Then it was recommended restaurants, cafes closed down. But the big problem was, it was left to the responsibility of the people to decide, like the business owners, the self-employed, left up to people themselves to decide to self-isolate. It wasn't enforced, which was a big problem, because if you don't enforce, unfortunately, most of humanity will just continue on as normal. So it's rising and rising. Like the numbers who died yesterday doubled on what I had done on the week and a half before.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, because like you say, they are not doing it to 100%, and then that's why we keep getting the results that we're getting.
Yeah, it's basic logic. It's like when this came out in December, if in January, when it was obvious it was becoming very serious, especially over in Asia, if all the countries goes, right, how do we stop this? Close all airports, shut everything down, then everything, especially like an island, like say Ireland, there's only 5 million people here, it's an island. Same as England probably has maybe 100 million people. If they shut down completely, if there was, let's say, 10 cases, that 10 may become 30 internally in their families and friends, and it's gone. But no, it's been allowed to spread. And it's pretty horrific. It's criminal, really, what's going on. But it is what it is, and we must deal with it as best we can individually, and then in supporting everyone too.
I know that you say you've dedicated over 20 plus years into your life of fitness, wellness. What point was it that you decided this is going to be my life's work? Was it something that brought that on?
Yeah, there was a particular point in my life, a turning point in my life, which is quite interesting. And I think, especially like I'm 42 now, and when you get to 30, 40, 50 and beyond, I think there's always points you can look back on that were turning points in your life for various reasons. But for me, like if I go back to being a kid, like probably from 7, 8 years of age on, and as a teenager, I had a lot of self-hate, very poor self-image, poor self-confidence. Like I was not in a good place, but it was all internally. Externally, everyone thought I was happy, go lucky. I was always the one who tried to make people laugh. I was always good at listening to people and helping people. It was just part of my nature. So no one knew anything was going on. And it was typical kind of male. Males aren't ever good at sharing how they're feeling. You keep it within. And I grew up that way with, living in a very dark place internally, and like lots of suicidal thoughts, and never went full on, I say a full on attempt, but came very close to doing it on a number of times. So I was living in this very dark place internally. And at the age of 17, when I first went to university, a good friend of mine there was big into training and gym. Now, all the way along, I played sports, but I wasn't into gym type training. And my health would have been reasonable, fitness and so on, reasonable. But he kept at me, you need to come to the gym, need to come to the gym. And in my head, the gym was just a bunch of knucklehead bodybuilders, and I'd look like this puny little fella going in, lifting 1 kilo dumbbells, and I just feel horrendous. And I didn't want that experience. So that was my impression and perception of the gym. Anyway, my friend was very, very persistent. He wouldn't leave me alone. And eventually I thought, look, I'm going to shut this guy up. I'm going to go once and it's done. And I basically went in at the age of 17 into the university gym, and it had such a big impact on me. It wasn't what I expected it to be in terms of the image I had of it, and I never came out. And from that then I made a decision that this has impacted me massively, getting control of mind, body, health area of my life. I want to spend my life dedicated to helping others do the same.
Yeah, I agree. And so as we look at living life for other people and the impact that it has on us. What has been some of the highlights that you've had since you started your journey in fitness?
Yeah, like I get massive satisfaction from helping other people just in general. But obviously, every message I get back, which I get usually every day, whether it be emails, Facebook messages, Instagram DMs, text messages, thanking me for that. It could be a post, it could be working with me, it could be a training session, it could be whatever that has helped them to make big decisions or has had a big impact in their life or whatever. So collectively, that gives me a massive sense of satisfaction and fulfillment in my career. Even take with my gym, I have a gym in Lanzarote. A 77-year-old came in about 6 months ago and she said, I've never trained in my life, never done exercise in my life, but my bingo wings are starting to get on my nerves. You probably can't help me, but I'm just hoping someone can do something for me. And we had a good chat. I encouraged her to stay on for a class that was starting. And now 6 months later, she's one of our most dedicated attendees, and it's 77.
And so how many gyms do you currently have? I know you said you had one in your old hometown.
Yeah, at the moment I have one in Lanzarote. So that's again where I lived at Island in Lanzarote. And I'm in the process of setting up fitness businesses here in Limerick since I moved back. Obviously, coronavirus has put a big stop on everything because everything's closed in terms of the gym space. I've worked online for the last 11 years. But before that, I ran my own chain of fitness centres in Ireland, which had 5 gyms and 55 staff. And I've had different kind of fitness businesses in different countries too since. So it's something I enjoyed kind of growing something from the ground up and then the impact we can have on people from it.
And so that leads me, as we talk about the fitness journeys, that leads me into the vegan journey. And so as I was reading up, I seen that your son was born in 2005, and that's when you kind of entertained the idea. But by 2012 January, you're full into it.
Yeah.
So what happened in between those years? What was that? What was the part that led up to the full commitment?
Yeah, because that was quite a journey. Like if we go back to say 2003, 2004 even, veganism was something I saw as like a cult, some crazy diet, just another one of these fatty things that, people just follow. Like my wife at the time, she had been vegetarian many years and then went vegan for about 6 months before 6-9 months before Max was born, Max, my son. And she was adamant, look, he's going to be vegan, that's it. And at the time, I was still in the more kind of typical bodybuilding space. Everything I'd learned was about more meat and dairy and protein shakes and all of that. And I thought, oh my God, my son's going to be a health wreck. He's going to be in and out of hospital all the time. And same as the rest of the family. So he was born and we were literally waiting for disaster to hit. A week went by, nothing, months, 2 months, 6 months, a year. Incredible health, incredible vitality, growth, not even a cold. I think he had his first little cold, like a runny nose at maybe about 2 years of age. And I was watching this and it was like against everything I had been taught in terms of what will happen with, say, a vegan, even vegetarian child versus, having milk, let's say, having meat, all that kind of typical stuff. So I was watching this and thinking, there has to be something to this. So I started my own investigation and my own journey into growing my own knowledge. And I've always been an open-minded person. Even if I think something is complete rubbish, I would still always explore both sides and then make up my own mind. So I started to read books. I started to watch podcasts or listen to podcasts, watch videos, connect with experts in that area, getting both sides again, opinions. Then over that was 7 years, I started implementing things. Like one of the early ones I did was I read a lot about dairy and like the China study especially, which was an eye-opening book. And I thought, right, this makes sense. So let's give up dairy for 6 weeks and see what happens. Now, during the 6 weeks, I can't honestly say I noticed anything dramatic. But what happened is when I went back on dairy afterwards, within 1 day, my nose started. I remember I had some ice cream. I love ice cream, and I had a few spoons of ice cream. My nose started running within about 10 minutes. The next morning, when I woke up and I had to go for a run, I could feel my breathing was a bit impaired. So my lungs again, because it's mucus forming. So I even recommend to people give up dairy ahead of meat, even as a first step. So I was gradually doing that. Like dairy went first, then meat went next, and fish went next, and chicken went down. Protein shakes, whey shakes, all that started going down. And basically, I got to 2011, and I was speaking at an event in Salt Lake City, and I said, here, I'll treat myself after. And I saw Ben and Jerry's, hadn't had it in about 3-4 months. And I said, hey, I treat myself. Went back to the hotel, ate my food, turned on a movie, spoon ready, looking forward to this tub of Ben & Jerry's, took a spoon and it tasted sour. And I thought, oh my God, I've been told this for ages, that when you cut out dairy for a while, it tastes sour. I said, right, it's actually true. They ruined the tub of Ben & Jerry's for me, but made me decide, right, I've nothing left now. Ben & Jerry's is out the window. So it might as well go full hog. 1st of January 2012, I'm going vegan and let's see where it goes. And it's been without doubt the best decision I've ever made for so many reasons.
As you trained for triathlon,
Yeah.
being a vegan, how did you get the nutrition? How did that go? You know, you think about your meats and the protein up.
Yeah, like it's like for training, especially if you put your body under a lot of pressure, whether it be stuff like bodybuilding or sports where you train for hours and hours a day, or endurance sports where, again, it's like constant demands, again, a few hours a day. The big fears were always, I won't get enough protein in. I need to get shakes in because I need more protein and so on. And what I learned over time was we don't need a fraction of the protein that is publicized to us. And the reality of why it's being publicized is because it's about profit. It makes money. I'd read again a lot, research, spoke to people, and this whole thing of not needing so much protein, again, was making sense. So I dramatically decreased my protein intake and focused more on eating just normal food, lots of fruits and vegetables and grains and pulses. And my results were way better than they'd ever been purely on, let's say, meat and whey shakes and so on. I learned that chlorophyll is the most important thing, not protein. So the more green stuff you can get in, that's why I'm very big on green smoothies. Get green foods into your diet as much as you can. That's like rocket fuel for recovery and performance. So fruits, vegetables, that's what matters. And not just for training and performance and recovery, but for just general health. Like right now with coronavirus, what people should be doing in terms of prevention, blasting their body with smoothies, and again, green smoothies, create that defense. That's your army. Your body is like the castle. The army is how much antioxidants and how strong is your immune system.
Thank you for the information that you're dropping. And so that brings me to the next question. When you're coaching, how's the coaching going? You working online or you working worldwide?
With coaching, because of technology, the world has become very small. So we can connect like the way we are. We're many, many thousand miles apart, and here we are, like we're sitting beside each other. And especially now with coronavirus and hopeful self-isolation for many, it's become even more important, even just for people to connect, like family and friends and stuff. So over the last 10, 11 years, I've worked with thousands of people all over the world, whether it be in various parts of America, Canada, South America, Africa, Asia, Australia, as well as Europe, Ireland, UK. And it's been using the internet. So I have programs where I do group training, and I have programs where I do one-to-one training. And people can be anywhere in the world. So between direct contact, like as if this was a coaching call, or group coaching calls, whether it be just audio or video, like something like Zoom, which is booming right now with the coronavirus. Like Zoom is being used by so many people. If we bought shares in Zoom a week ago, we'd all be very, very rich. That's for sure. And then I said, I've created a lot of products, like a home workout system, which is 6 weeks of 6 workouts a week for home-based exercise. So that's, again, like a product I have. So, I've created lots and lots of products and books and video series that people get access to. But then we've got the direct coaching call features then as well. And I just give unlimited support.
As you're setting up the coaching, what are some of the things y'all are working on?
Okay. Yeah, as I said, 20 so years ago when I started, it would have been mainly like fitness, weight loss, stuff like that. Whereas now I work with a lot of entrepreneurs, whether it be to try and take their business from one point to another in terms of the financial aspect or the productivity element of it. But also a lot of entrepreneurs, business owners, they don't prioritize themselves. So they're doing good with their business, they're doing good with, say, the financial aspect, but their life isn't in a good place in terms of their own health, their own self-care, even relationships. So I drill into, especially entrepreneurs, the importance of regaining control of their mind, body, health area of their life. So we work a lot on how to create the right positive mental attitude, get their body into shape that they want, creating morning and evening routines, productivity strategies, doing things to improve their health. So that's a very important aspect. It applies to everyone, but I think especially to entrepreneurs and business owners, because so much energy can go into the business. And the relationship with themselves and the relationship with their kids, family, partners, whoever it might be, suffers too. When you can have everything, you can have balance, but you have to be strict to have the balance. So, it's not always what you see on the face, but you have to kind of look back deep. And this where, again, mental health is massive. You have to take care of your mental health and work on it every day.
Can you share all of those websites with us as we talk about?
Yeah, sure. Best thing for people to do, if people want to connect with me, is connect with me on the social media. Like, I use the social media a lot across all platforms. If you look for Dave Sheahan, and like Sheahan, like on Facebook, and I have different groups and pages as well as my platform. Twitter is Dave Sheahan 1. Instagram is Dave Sheahan 1978. That gives away my birthday. YouTube is Home Workout System. LinkedIn, Formula for Success. Like, if you just even type in Google, you'll see a lot of them come up as well. I'm currently redoing all my websites. They should be up in the next month or two, because we're just rebranding them and adding some new great content as well. So if people want to connect with me, just catch me in any social media, shoot me a message, let me know how I can help you. Again, my life's dedicated to helping others, so if I can help in any way, just shoot me a message.
All right, now last thing before we go. I know that you came to New York for the marathon. How many times have you ran it, and how was that trip?
On that particular trip was truly amazing. Like, the New York Marathon is truly, truly unique. Like, I've done many marathons, and without a doubt, the New York Marathon is the highlight of my marathon career, or whatever you want to call it. Like, it's a race that the like of which I never saw before. Like, for 26.2 miles, you have people, thousands and thousands of people along both sides of the street. You have bands playing all the time. People's doors are open at their houses. You can run if you want to go to the toilet. They've got food for you. They've got water for you. I've never seen a more supported, atmospheric marathon or any kind of endurance event in my life. So I really enjoyed it. Plus, it was also, my dad had retired a few years before that, and I felt he needed something to aim for. And he'd never done a marathon race, nothing ever. He was always sporty. But I told him, you're doing the New York Marathon with me. So he trained for 2 years for it, and he finished it, and he did it in about, I think he did 4 hours 30 or something that was quite respectable, considering he'd never done something like that before. And it was a great experience for us both to have together. So it's a lovely memory I have with my dad as well. In terms of America, like, I love going to America. Like, I've gone to Los Angeles quite a bit. I've done different events as well, speaking at or running events in California, Los Angeles, Salt Lake City, in New York. I haven't been Boston yet. I was in Key West, actually. Was a beautiful place. I was part of a mastermind at. And obviously holidays too. And, once this whole thing finishes and we've got freedom of movement again, I'm looking forward to paying a trip back over to the US. And also I'd love to do a series of events around as well.
Yes, man. You have to come to Houston, Texas, man. You got to get here.
Love that.
Yes, and so I'll make sure to start working on that. That way we can set up.
You can be my guide.
Yeah, that'll work, man. We'll make it happen here. Okay, well, I wanted to say thank you for taking some time out to talk to us today. Great information. I look forward to sharing it with someone and hoping that we can change some lives together.
Hopefully, and thank you so much for having me on. And well done to you, on all the great work you're doing and you're looking to do. And, like many people, thankfully at the moment, the positive elements of humanity is starting to show, where people with big hearts are starting to want to get great content out there and actually help people and give support. And there's never been a time when we need as a globe to come together and support each other. So congrats and well done to you on all you're doing.
All right, I sure appreciate it, man. Thank you one more time. All right, this is KT for KTTeeV signing out. 100.